Let's say China.
China.
China. China.
There are next door neighbors, and you can actually see Russia from land here in Alaska.
You go over to China.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Trump statement, tweeting out insults to Angela Merkel. What's he doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host.
Yes, I am back. It is James Andrews, and you are listening to So This Happened, voted the best news show by Hargreaves School for the Deaf. It is Wednesday, the 3rd of May, 2017, and the very first question of the day is, did you miss me? The second question of the day, did you even notice I was gone? I've been gone 5 days, folks, since last Thursday. Now, a year ago, if you'd taken 5 days off from a show like this, when you get back, the news would look something like, a cat got stuck up a tree and was rescued by a friendly fireman. Perhaps a politician sexed a picture of his knob to somebody. Or maybe an 80-pound Japanese fella ate 100 hot dogs in a record-breaking 30 seconds. But now, today, May 3rd, 2017, you take 5 days off from a program like this, and the news that you have to catch up on, it's like a year. It's incredible. So let's have a look at some of the things that I have missed since just last Thursday. And of course, the big one was we hit Trump's 100 days in office. And we're going to start off with a look back at what Donald Trump said he would accomplish in his 100 days. This is a recording from November 2016. Let's see how close he got, shall we?
Today, I would like to provide the American people with an update on the White House transition and our policy plans for the first 100 days. My agenda will be based on a simple core principle: putting America first. As part of this plan, I've asked my transition team to develop a list of executive actions we can take on day one to restore our laws and bring back our jobs. It's about time. These include the following. On trade, I am going to issue our notification of intent to withdraw from the Trans-Pacific Partnership, a potential disaster for our country. Instead, we will negotiate fair bilateral trade deals that bring jobs and industry back onto American shores. On energy, I will cancel job-killing restrictions on the production of American energy, including shale energy and clean coal, creating many millions of high-paying jobs. That's what we want. That's what we've been waiting for. On regulation, I will formulate a rule which says that for every one new regulation, 2 old regulations must be eliminated. So important. On national security, I will ask the Department of Defense and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff to develop a comprehensive plan to protect America's vital infrastructure from cyber attacks and all other form of attacks. On immigration, I will direct the Department of Labor to investigate all abuses of visa programs that undercut the American worker. I will provide more updates in the coming days as we work together to make America great again for everyone, and I mean everyone.
So that's Donald talking about what he was going to do in his first 100 days back in November. Now let's see what some people are saying he has actually done in his first 100 days. Here's Bernie to start us off.
Hi. What disturbs me most about Donald Trump when we think about his first 100 days is not what he has done or has not done. It is his total hypocrisy.
And then here's a few people on MSNBC when asked about Trump's first 100 days.
First 100 days, what grade would you give Donald Trump?
An I for incomplete and incompetent. To get a grade, you have to turn in a paper.
Nothing's being turned in right now. Incomplete.
I think the biggest aspect of Trump's first 100 days have been the combo of arrogance and incompetence.
A big F, for sure, no question about it. And I think that started the first day after the inauguration and taking down the climate change page on the White House website.
But don't worry, maybe Sean Spicer can give us a little clue as to what Trump has actually accomplished in the first 100 days. Or maybe he can't.
Thanks, man. Looking ahead to the 100-day mark and setting aside executive orders, can you say what the single piece of legislation that you are proudest that you got through Congress that was on the president's agenda?
Well, a few things on that. Number one, we're not done. We've got a little ways before we hit the 100-day mark. So I think what you've seen out of this White House is a very robust agenda of activity. There's a lot of executive orders that I think the president's been pleased with, not only what they've done or what they will do, but what they've done. I think when you look at immigration in particular, we see a very significant drop at the border. I think on jobs, there's been a lot of activity that we've been very proud to see American manufacturing and job creation. But then there's pieces like what we did today that I think if you're a veteran who's served our country, to know that you have additional options to get health care in a timely manner.
Yeah, and so Sean, it was sort of, did you know that you could save 15% or more by switching your insurance to Geico? And that's basically what he may as well have said, right? I mean, it's, anyway, moving on to Hillary Clinton. Hillary was back again this weekend, and she made some comments at a speech she was doing, and one of them was, if the election had been on October 27th, I would be your president. And she went on to blame Comey, Russian leaks for her losing the election, along with massive misogyny on the part of the voters. And we have actually touched on that before, because I truly believe that if Hillary Clinton was not a woman, she probably would be president. I think that's probably it. They're talking about Oprah Winfrey running. Well, we've already proven that the people of America would prefer to have a black man as president than a white woman. So Oprah, a black woman, it would never happen, would it? It would absolutely never happen. So yeah, misogyny and racism, what a way to start the week. Well, it's halfway through the week for you, but for me, it's just beginning. And of course, we can't talk about the last 5 days without mentioning Trump's rally in Pennsylvania. That's right, instead of going to the traditional White House Correspondents' Dinner, Trump decided to hold a big fucking rally. It wasn't as big as he said. He said it was sold out and full, but there are some photographs which are showing quite a lot of empty seats. But that aside, here's one thing that Donald Trump said that I want to discuss a little bit. So here's Donald from Pennsylvania.
Now, before we talk about my first 100 days, which has been very exciting and very productive, let's rate the media's 100 days. Should we do that? Should we do it? Because, as you know, they are a disgrace. According to a Morning Consult poll, more than half of Americans say the media is out of touch with everyday Americans, and they've proven that. According to Media Research Center, 89% of the media's coverage of our administration has been negative and purposely negative. So here's the story. If the media's job is to be honest and tell the truth, then I think we would all agree the media deserves a very, very big, fat failing grade.
And there's Donald attacking the media again. And on a side note, if you go and watch the video, or if you're watching it live, or behind him, he's got all the people, and it is just a beautiful sea of white. There's a few people holding Women for Trump signs, and there's one black guy right behind his his right shoulder, and I am telling you, that dude is in the sunken place. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. But it brings me on to the next topic I want to talk about, and that is the death of the news. Wow. And that was a lot more dramatic than we really need. That was the best thing. That was the best thing we have. We have to work with what we have, people. That's just how it goes. But when I was away this week, I was sort of out of touch with a lot of digital media. I didn't have any access to it for a lot of the time. What I did do was I talked to a lot of people. I went to dinner with people, and where I was in the world, a lot of the people there tended to be fairly conservative and definitely Trump voters. And here's something I noticed. Donald Trump has been telling people since he was running as a candidate that the news, the media is fake, and that everything they tell you is a big fat fucking lie, and it's just, you're not going to learn anything from listening to the news. So what I've noticed, and this wasn't just one person, not an isolated incident in any way, shape or form, this is pretty much across the board, and I'm not sure if I can really spread that out to across the whole state, but I'm going to anyway, because this is my show, I can do what the hell I want. But what I've noticed is these conservatives, these Trump supporters, they've tuned out. And what I mean by that is they've stopped watching the news completely. And even Fox News, they're not watching it. Even people who are diehard Fox Newsers are no longer watching that. CNN, NBC, MSNBC, forget it. They're not ever watching that because it's fake news. So the only information they are getting is from Donald Trump himself, from his tweets, from his rallies, and everything that he talks about and tweets about is winning big, and this is what we've done, and this is what we're doing, and this is what happened. And these people, these Trump supporters, they're believing it all. They're buying it because that's the only place they are getting their news from, is from Donald Trump himself. And this explains the recent poll that was taken, where it said that something like only 3% of people that voted for Donald Trump would not vote for him if the election was tomorrow. You remember way back when he said he could stand in the middle of Times Square and shoot someone and he wouldn't lose a single voter. Well, he's probably right about that. And he's probably right because in these people's mind, he has suppressed the news. The media is not to be trusted. Therefore, I am the only one that can tell you what the truth is. You know who else does that? North Korea. I know. Ooh, heavy, right? Heavy. And I've been saved from the heaviness because you will be happy to know that at the window right now, Trump Vader is staring in. Now, he's only going to come on and read a tweet today if you promise not to laugh at him. Because if you remember, last week on his tweet, we laughed at him at the end because it was a fucking stupid tweet. But I promised him that we wouldn't laugh at him today, and he's going to come in and what's that? What? I can't hear you through the... You're going to have to... He wants a drum roll, right? He wants a drum roll. So I'm going to do a drum roll. Trump Vader's going to come in. Well, hello, Trump Vader. How are you? Now, some of you may know Trump Vader and I actually spent the weekend together. It was a pretty nice time. It was pretty good. So, which tweet are you reading today for us? Which one? Let me hang on 2 seconds. Which one is it? That one. That's quite an old one though. That's from a few days ago. Okay, that's fine. Okay, Trump Vader is going to read a tweet from a few days ago because he wasn't here and he really likes this one. He thinks it says quite a lot. So here's Trump Vader and his tweet.
President Andrew Jackson, who died 16 years before the Civil War started, saw it coming and was angry, would never have let it happen.
Really? That's the tweet of the day? I mean, you've had some pretty ridiculous tweets, but that one takes the cake. So what you're basically saying is that somebody who died 16 years before something happened, if he had not died 16 years before it happened, would have seen it was going to happen and would have stopped it if he hadn't died 16 years before it happened. That's ridiculous. That's the stupidest tweet. I mean, what were you thinking? What were you smoking? Anyway, Ladies and gentlemen, you know how much he loves it, so let's give Trump Vader a round of applause for that preposterous tweet. Well, it's very nice. That's a lovely one. Very happy with that. He big thumbs up from Trump Vader. He loved that. Anyway, we are out of time, and today's show was a bit more of a catch-up for me than it was for pure entertainment value for you, and I apologise for that, but I had to catch up. Okay, so you can always follow me on Twitter at SoThisHappen. And if you like what we're doing, subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, wherever you're at. And if you really like it, write a little review. If you hate it, write a little review, because there is no such thing as bad publicity, as our president shows us time and time again. Anyway, thanks so much for listening, and I will chat with you tomorrow. Goodbye.
China.
There are no storm rivers.